Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to visit with a YouTuber named Mika's Fasting Weight Loss. This is Mika, and the reason I'm showing you this video is because it was just a really tough day for Mika. At least that's what I took from this video, and it's called I Quit My Weight Loss Journey. I hope you enjoy it.
Hi, it's Mika Fast and Weight Loss, and this video is to let you know I'm just quitting because I'm getting nowhere and I did this again. I'm gonna only keep my word and saying that I'm gonna make an appointment with some kind of professional. I still don't think it's gonna help, but I'm gonna just make the appointment, see how that goes. I'm gonna try to find one that works with people that have food addiction. Everything I've said, I still believe regardless. This is not gonna happen. $199. Dang, I don't even have something to. Some tissue. This $199 is not gonna happen.
So I think we've all been here, right? We've all had situations where we come to the reality that, hey, we're probably not going to hit our goal, or maybe we come to the reality that maybe our goal isn't quite as realistic as we thought it was, and it can be really crappy. But if we look over her shoulder here, we can kind of Sherlock Holmes what happened. So just for fun, let's Sherlock Holmes, even though for Mika it wasn't fun at all. It looks like she started a journey of some sort about 16 days ago. And if you look at the very top, she started at about 258 and a half pounds. It looks like about 10 days into it, she dropped 10 pounds. And then unfortunately, over the past week, from that 10-pound drop, she gained back that 7 or 8 pounds that she lost, or that 10 pounds that she lost, basically. And now it looks like she's right back kind of where she started. So we've all been there. It can be very frustrating. We get to kind of see her raw emotion here. So let's continue with this.
By the first, obviously, because I just gained back all that weight. There's the days that I was gone from here on the board, and this morning's weight. This is not going to happen. I really hope nobody tells me a formula to lose weight, because I still believe all diets work. You just have to have the discipline, focus, drive, and want to make it happen. And if you have issues like me, you might need some kind of outside help, which I don't know. I don't know. Some kind of outside help. I think accountability is helpful, but this channel's not helping. I have so many people watching, and that should be enough accountability. I don't know why I did that, and I thought about it as I was doing it. Yeah. So, I still think fasting is good. I'm still having positive vibes, even if this is the last video. If you say even one drop or hint of something rude, I'm deleting and hiding you from my channel. That YouTube will still let you watch me, but you can never comment, so I don't have to hear your negativity. I don't need negativity. I know my situation. I know I'm fat. I know I haven't had success because the past success don't count. So, yeah.
So I think we should look at past success as something that does count, because past success always gives us that hope and knowledge that we've been there before. We can get back to where we need to get, right? So let's stay positive. I think what would have helped Mika, and again, I've only been watching for 2 minutes just like you guys, but I think what would have helped her with this challenge is if she would have stayed away from the scale. If you guys notice, she's marking her weight every single day. A lot of you guys do this where it's not only 250 pounds, but it's 250.7 pounds. And a lot of times, if you're looking at the scale every day, those are the type of gains and losses you're going to see. 0.6 pounds, 0.2 pounds, 0.3 pounds. And it's just not really worth the mental anguish for when you have an upward trend.
I did kind of good on no fast food for a long time, Sonia. I don't know. I don't know how long I was committing to that, but I think I did fulfill that commitment. I at least stayed 11 days with no fast food, and almost most of the days with no fast food. I will be me regardless, and I still love me. And I know I'm quitting, but I know I'm capable of this. I know someone 3 times my size is capable. We're all capable. We just have to figure it out and do it. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I have memberships there still. I don't even know what's happening with that either, but I appreciate you guys. I don't know when another video is going to come. I don't know what I'm going to do going forward now. I don't know if I'm going to see what it looks like to just don't even try and just do whatever. Or there's a part of me, I was just taking a shower because I'm going to work now. There's a part of me that just want to do a mukbang just for the haters. Like, is that what you guys want to see? And you guys don't like me really talking to haters, but they're here and you don't see the comments because they might be on old videos, or you might have watched the video, left a comment, or watched and not looked. But it's here, and it's hard to deal with because, especially new people, because that's harder because they don't understand and it's too hard to explain who I am. And yeah, I'm not trying to explain why I like fasting.
This is why I love doing a channel with a lot of you venters, because the reality is, even though, yes, we don't know who Mika is, right? Everybody's unique and individual. We all share the same problem when it comes to our weight. There's so much frustration. There's so much two steps forwards, three-step back, right? But the point that I'm trying to make is that this is a frustrating thing. And if you look at it as a 90-day challenge or a 10-day challenge, or let's get on the weight scale every single day, you're going to be miserable. The best thing you can do is just decide to do something long term. The easiest thing that we can do long term is take a walk. I'm going to ask you guys to take a walk with me in a couple minutes. Maybe today will be that first day that you put your shoes on and join us.
Or how that's going to mess with me. I do have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. So I don't even know what I was last time I went, but I'm going to speak to my doctor. It's a follow-up because I have low iron. I have blood pressure medicine. I did not get my diabetes back somehow. Thank God. I don't know what else to say, but this is it. Soda. I went back to the diet soda. I don't know what the 1750 is. I must love looking pregnant. Tuesdays, I don't need cheat days, period. 260s. Oh, I didn't make it back to the 260s. That's good. I don't know what 300 means. It might mean that my highest weight ever was 297. And once I hit 297 many years ago, that was a trigger to my mind to say, oh no, you're not about to go to your 300s. I don't know what it's about. Time management is still a major issue. And I'm easily distracted, you guys. I got so many men issues. I never had so many men issues in the last month than I've ever had. But it's crazy. That's no excuse. Anyone that is not for me, I need to just stop talking to them or don't see them and just move on. I don't even care about judgment religiously. I'm going to say one more thing. I need to get to work, but someone put a comment, which I deleted because it was rude. Do you know that, I don't know if they said gluttony or whatever was sin? Yes, duh, I know that. God should be number one in my life. Being fat shows the lack of discipline. This is my opinion. I'm not getting down on anyone. This is just my opinion. And to that person who is now hidden from my channel because I didn't appreciate the rude comment. Just duh. For my religion, which is Islam, for Christianity, probably for Judaism, because we all use the same, our books are all from the same God, whether you believe it or not. We just believe way different. Major principles are different, but I believe with everything in me that Bible, that Torah, the Quran is all from God. Sent with prophets to the earth to tell us to worship only him, not to have any other partners. He doesn't have children. He doesn't have anyone that's like him. He is the most high, the creator of us. He has rules. He had guidelines. Yes. It's a sin on so many levels. This is an illness, you guys. This, I really believe, is an illness. I don't choose to be fat. I don't choose to sabotage. Do you think I really didn't want to make it to 199? Yes, I did. I don't know why I make the choices. And I know everyone thinks it's trauma. People friggin' analyze me. I understand that. And maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong because he's the only all-knower and he knows. And I don't know if I feel sad or what, but I still don't feel like I have a problem. Being fat is not a problem relative to the world. There's like billions of people on this earth, and I'm so blessed and lucky to be in the situation I'm in. It is a sin in my mind to overeat when there's people starving. It's a sin in my mind to overeat when I have debts that I need to pay back to people. Okay. It's a sin in my mind that I'm not appreciating the body I have. I have all of my organs. I'm fine. I could get up. I could work 7 days a week. Okay. I could do so much. So it's a sin on so many different levels. Yes, overeating, gluttony. It's a sin in all of our religions. Like that is just rude, not helpful. And I just cannot stand rudeness. I am not judgmental. I try to be a decent person. I'm not the best Muslim to
Does anybody love this rant? Because this is how irritated so many of us feel when we're trying our best, we're doing our diet, we're taking our daily walk, we're drinking water instead of sugary drinks, right? And that darn scale just won't agree with us. I love her just raw, truthful emotion. If you feel the same way, please let me know down in the comments.
my standards, but I can't even judge what my level of what God thinks I'm doing as an effort because He knows our heart. It's the intentions. My intentions is to be modest. My intentions is to stay away from men. My intentions is to be a good mother, a good housekeeper, grateful for my apartment in the hood. Like, I want to be grateful for this. People, I'm living someone's dream. Someone, probably a million people or more in the world would die, love, dream of what I have. Okay. So yeah, I'm not letting anyone bring me down. This is a quitting video because I don't know what else to say about. I don't even know what else to say about what I ate today at work when I got off work. The day before yesterday, I didn't do bad yesterday, but the day before yesterday, I did terrible. And then on my birthday, I didn't do good. And I didn't even enjoy any of the food because that's not what I wanted. That's not who I wanted to be with, was by myself. I didn't want to be going to, I think I had Taco Bell. That's gross and not even good. There's so many things, but that's not a problem and it's okay. And I can fix my issues. And this is not going to have any thumbnail right now. I am about to be late to work. That's being ungrateful to my customers. Like, man, I don't even know what to say. I'm not upset with anybody. I'm not upset with myself. I'm just kind of at a loss right now because
You know what? Birthdays happen. And even if she was by herself at a Taco Bell for her birthday, even if she was with family eating cake, birthdays happen. Let's just call it life and let's move forward. Guys, Mika's not quitting on giving up on her health. She's just quitting for the day. And when you guys want to quit, that's what you need to tell yourselves. We're not going to quit for life. We're just going to quit for the day because sometimes days are so tough you just need to call it a day. Okay? Let's finish up this video with Mika here.
I stick to my principles that all diets work. And I stick to my principles that just because you lost 150 pounds or 500 pounds and kept it off your way, that does not mean that's the way I'm going to do it. I don't have to sacrifice sugar, or I don't have to be keto, or I don't have to do intermittent fasting. Like, I could do it my way. And I do think that OMAD plus a snack is best for me, plus going to the gym. I'm not blaming my jobs, but I feel like everything that's going on in my life makes it even harder, which is not an excuse. I do not make excuses. Okay. I really don't. I just say the reasons why I think things are the way they are. And it's not because I don't have a man. And I'm going to say this again. It's not because I might have trauma in my childhood. It's just not, because I believe everything for a Muslim is good, whether it's good or bad. It's my test and it's my trials. These are easy tests and trials. I would gladly go through this trial of not getting a man that's decent. I have all kinds of opportunities for men that are not for me or don't want me or I'm married. Like, no. So, it's not the men. It's not loneliness. It's not childhood trauma. What else do you guys say it is? It's not an underlying issue. I'm gonna figure out a counselor to go to, but I just know it's not, because I don't live my life thinking like the way other people think. I'm grateful. I really am. I'm grateful. I know there's solutions to my problems. I need to put God first. That would probably help a lot, which I don't do. I put myself and just wasting time first. I put money first, but yet I'm broke. And who is the provider of everything is God. Oh my gosh. Let me go before my client. I love my client. I can't wait to get there. I get joy out of beautiful, happy, loving, loyal people, and she's one of them.
Gosh, I do too. That was a world-class rant. Sometimes we need to just get things out of us, and that's a gift in and of itself. I think Mika is a very powerful person, And I think she is going to achieve her successes. If you want to check out her story further, because this was from a couple of months back, I'm going to link her videos in the description here of this video. With that being said, I think that we all need to start off with little baby steps. And one of the best ways we can do that is to go get your shoes. Let's go for a walk. Good morning, everybody. I was just watching a video from Good News Network, and it was a Instagram video because they were talking about a Canadian couple that adopted two little rats. Well, I guess rats are giant mice, right? So, not that they're mice at all, but you know what I mean. They adopted two rats. They ended up not just keeping the rats as normal pets, they ended up getting them a little taxi. And I'll put a picture of it right here, really cute. This taxi had 3 buttons in it. So it's a little cage, right? But it's got wheels on it and 3 buttons. And the 3 buttons go, the middle button goes forward, the button to the right obviously turns right, and the opposite button turns in the opposite direction. And they were teaching the rats how to drive this car, basically. And it was pretty cute. You know, the cats learn that if they push the middle button, it goes forward. And then they adjust it right or left to get the treat. And then as they get close enough to the treat can actually be reached through a little hole that's in the taxi to the outside world. So all they have to do is drive close enough to it to grab the treat, right? And I started thinking about the video that I recorded for you guys last night with Dr. Terry Mann. And I was watching other videos from news reports from about 10 or 15 years ago. And the study basically suggested the same thing that Terry Mann was saying, was that when humans lose weight, 95 to 98%. I mean, it wasn't like 70 to 75%. It was 95 to 98% of all people that diet, regardless of the diet plan they take, regardless of the exercise plan they take, they all end up quitting within 2 to 5 years. And during that 2 to 5 years, they gain back every single pound that they lost, except for maybe 2 pounds. So Terry Mann brought up the idea, and you guys saw the video, or you're watching it today, I should say. The idea of the video was that since we know, scientifically speaking, that 95 to 98% of diets and exercise plans fail, then maybe instead of diet and exercise, we should kind of start to be a little bit happier with who we are and start to look at problems that we're dealing with regards to weight in a different way. And normally you would look at something so ironclad and you would say, you know what? Dr. Terry Mann is right. And for some of you at home, you might be watching that video right now and thinking that exact thing, that gosh, Dr. Terry Mann hit the nail on the head. If we're all going to fail at the diet, then why the heck would I want to take Jesse's 90-day challenge? Challenges don't work, right? Because it needs to be more of a lifestyle. And apparently, according to Dr. Terry Mann, even the lifestyle doesn't work, because in 5 years you end up reverting back to the weight that you were. And I've seen other videos where they take it a step further and they try to say that even if you keep dieting and exercising, you're probably going to gain back the weight. I mean, pretty devastating news, right? But I want you guys to know that I think there's a way we can fight it. Number one, I don't necessarily believe in the accuracy of this expertise from a decade ago. And the reason I don't is because if you watched the video that I put out today, I also showed a picture from Lounge History, or whatever that YouTuber's name was, the History Lounge, right? I also showed a picture of what the New York City looked in the early 1900s, right? So I'm assuming it was 1900 to 1910. And you literally see what looks like thousands of people outside in this beautiful city, right? Built up by people and horses and carriages, right? Just a real neat little scene, right? And come to find out that if you look closely at the picture, gosh, it's hard to find one single person that's overweight. And there's a lot of people that are just out and about walking, and it just makes you wonder, well, part of Terry Mann's story was the idea that you are kind of stuck with the genetics that your parents give you. So no matter what you do, ultimately one day, physically speaking, you're going to become the body type of your parents and grandparents in some way, shape, or form, right? But then if you look at this picture that I put up from the early 1900s, guys, those are the equivalent of the parents of our parents' parents. In other words, if you go back just 20 generations, each and every one of us has 1 million or more grandparents, right? And out of those 1 million grandparents that we all have, we're all related. We're all the same person. If we all eat junk food constantly, we're all gonna get fat. And if we all gave up the junk food for walking constantly, we're all gonna slowly but surely lose weight and start looking better and feeling better about ourselves. But I do agree with Terry Mann in one way, shape, or form. The one way, shape, or form that I do agree with her is that most people do fail diet and exercise plans. So that's why in the first part of our show, when we go over diets and exercise and struggles that other people are going over, the reason I show you guys that isn't because I'm hoping that one of these days you pick up one of these plans and everything works perfectly for you. That's actually not why I'm showing it to you at all. I like to show you carnivores one day, and I like to show you vegans the next, and I like to show you fad diets the next, etc., because I want to show you guys the diets and stuff that haven't worked for you. I'm actually creating an argument that Terry can use, right? Because the reality is, I could see how if you're eating a ton of meat in a carnivore type diet, I could see how things can come along the way that can knock you off of that diet. Maybe the prices of meat go sky high because of meat shortages in the beef industry, right? Maybe something happens where you don't want to eat another bacon hamburger again, minus the bread, in your life. You know, there's these different things that pop up that make people say, hey, I'm no longer doing the carnivore diet. Hey, I'm no longer doing the vegan diet, right? Hey, I'm no longer on this this lemon and this sardine fast, you know? All these things are temporary and they're designed for people to quit. Jesse, being a vegan is a lifestyle. Well, if being a vegan was a lifestyle that was so successful, why do they have an 85% fail rate? Could you imagine doing any diet that's supposed to be forever and you've got an 85% fail rate? Those are things that make Terry Mann's argument stronger. So my thinking is, when I show you diet and exercise plans that seem challenging but have good results, that's exactly how you should look at them. Hey man, these people get good results when they do this diet plan, but it's super duper challenging. So Jesse, what can we do to fight that? I think the best thing that we can do to fight that is to find an exercise plan that's easy to duplicate, easy to maintain, and actually fun and, dare I say, addictive. And I think we have that here with Walk, Talk, Vent. You have a situation where every day you can immerse yourself in the culture. And I mean every single day. We're out here each day. By immersing yourself in the culture of losing weight with fellow venters that want to walk every single day, you're putting yourself into a lifestyle more than a dietary fad, okay? Every single diet plan out there has 3 tenets. The first tenet is being active and moving. They don't care if you do calisthenics. They don't care if you go to the gym and work out. They would ideally like you to just stay active. So my thinking is, if working out at the gym sucks, and if doing diets and exercises suck, then you want to do something that's absolutely fun. And that's why I urge every single person that hears my voice to give me 15 to 21 days of you walking consistently. And what that's going to equate to is a situation where after a couple of months, you're going to become a lot like Lily, and you're going to start walking 5 miles a day. You're going to become a lot like Sean, and occasionally you're going to do what Sean does, which is give himself a challenge like he did on Father's Day to walk 8 miles. I'd be willing to bet that the first time Sean left his house for his first walk, X amount of months or X amount of years ago, depending on how long Sean's been walking altogether, I'd be willing to bet that Sean did not go on an 8-mile walk the first time he left his house. I'd be willing to bet that he built his way up there. And Sean, if you hear my voice, maybe you can describe the baby steps that you took. But here's the point that I'm making. I don't think Lily and Sean, and I'll throw Mala on there as well, because Mala, although she only weighs $120, she is here every day with us walking. I don't think any of them have chosen to walk every single day over the last 100 days because they hate it or because it's something they want to quit. I think they've done it because they actually have learned how to love and enjoy their walk. And when all of a sudden you can become addicted to your morning walk, guess what? You just gave yourself a permanent way of subtracting calories off of the ticker that we'll call life. So if all of a sudden you love your daily walk, Sean, and let's say you don't do anywhere near 8 miles a day, let's say you just do 3 or 4, right? Just a good solid hour of walking. Sean, how the heck are you ever going to gain weight? When I was in high school, I was 130 pounds, and I couldn't dream of being the weight that I am now. If I was 165 pounds in high school, I could have enjoyed sports that much better. Because trust me, when you're 130 pounds soaking wet in high school, it doesn't make sports easier. It makes them more challenging. But you know why I still went out for sports? Because you can't help but love something that you love. That's why people play football. It's not easy, it's hard. And that's why we love football, right, guys? Because it's a challenge. Women, you guys played high school softball. You guys did swimming events. These things are fun because they're challenging. And when you get to the point where you're making the top 3 finishers in swimming, right, Imogen? All of a sudden you get that little reward factor in your head, and you say, my God, next time I'm not going to get 3rd place. I'm going to get 1st, right? And you start really getting into it. Well, guys, walking is that catalyst. Walking is that vehicle that can take us from point A to point B. So do I agree with Terry Mann? Absolutely not. She also went on to say there's no such thing as willpower. Guys, when you're walking 8 miles a day to challenge yourself for Father's Day, Sean, that's a testament to willpower. Lily, when you're stuck at losing 10 or 11 pounds and you can't seem to lose 1 more pound, but you keep walking 5 miles a day anyway, and despite that, that's willpower. The problem with willpower is sometimes we are a little too overzealous with our goals and we give ourselves goals that are impossible. For example, one of the things I used to do with push-ups is I used to try to do these 100 and 500 and 1,000 push-up per day challenges. Those things are just designed to fail. The best way to do push-ups is to say, hey, every day when I wake up and every day before I get in the shower or before I go to bed, I'm just going to do 20 push-ups and I'm going to see what happens. And I'll tell you what, by doing that, I'm able to go further and longer distances of doing push-ups. But when I say that, that almost sounds like I'm putting a carrot in Terry Mann's argument, right? Or a check mark in her argument, because even with push-ups and sit-ups, those things are easy to quit. But once again, with walking, it's almost impossible for me to even think about quitting. I have been doing walking for decades now, and I love it more now than I did yesterday. And I have a feeling I'm going to love it more tomorrow, and so are you. So when you hear doctors and experts and authors of books speak so matter-of-factly, hey, this is cut and dry, do whatever the heck you want, you're going to fail. Well, hell, that sounds like a great way to be set up for a big fall. What do you mean, Jesse? Well, if you keep hearing people, especially experts, tell you that it's impossible and that the odds are against you, you're eventually going to go ahead and quit. So if you ever get in a situation where you do end up piling on weight, piling on the pounds going forward, you're going to be the first in line to go to the doctor for a prescription. You're going to be first in line to go to the surgeon for a surgery. You're going to be the first in line, the first person in the choir to say, they're right, you can't solve anything, but I've got this magic injectable here that does. And so what happens is we all slowly but surely come to this new paradigm that we're worthless, that we're incapable, that we are a failure just waiting to happen. And guess what? When we think that way, it becomes that way. It becomes true. So what I'm telling you is I don't care what doctor or lawyer's out there. I don't care what argument you hear, whether it's in the legal stands or whether it's in your doctor's office. You're not hopeless. You're not helpless. There are people every day that quit cigarette smoking. And if you would have asked them when they were in the middle of cigarette smoking, are you ever going to quit? They would probably throw their hands up in the air and say, I don't think I can. But yet every single day, people set down their pack of cigarettes and never pick it back up, right? Based on science, that should be impossible. Nicotine is more addictive than heroin, right? We always hear these stories. Oh my God, sugar is more addictive than cocaine. You know, when you taste something sweet and you enjoy it and it's pleasurable and it makes you feel happy, that doesn't necessarily mean that if you don't do that, you're miserable and unhappy, right? Believe it or not, if you smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol and get wasted on drugs every day, believe it or not, there's actually nothing wrong with being sober. But when you're on these different drugs and stuff, there's a piece of people's minds that start to equate sobriety with something that's less than, with something that sucks. Oh my God, do you want to sober up? No, why would I want to do that? Right? But if you ask any 8, 9, or 10-year-old kid that's never done any substances in his life, if he enjoys life without, smoking cigarettes, he's going to say, of course, I would never touch the stuff. I'm very happy. Kids are happy because they're constantly walking and they're constantly running and they're constantly playing. And over the last decade or two, we've started poisoning them by, instead of having them being outside and playing, they're indoors on their telephone and on their video game consoles playing games, getting fat. That's probably a big reason why we have so many young people that are suicidal and depressed. Those things keep getting worse. And now we've got people like Terry that are telling us that, hey, It's your parents' and grandparents' fault. Do you think everybody that quits their diet is weak? Of course not. It must be a problem with the idea of dieting. It's impossible. Guys, I've never heard such a silly thing in my life. Do you really think that the people at the gym that go every single day for years, do you really think they're doing something that's akin to impossible? Do you really think when I see Stacy out here walking every day, or when I'm here for my 102nd day in a row, do you really think that that's impossible? That that's some feat of people that are special and can do special feats? I've taken a couple dozen of you, and we've been walking every day for the past 100 days. Now, if you go to somebody that's 400 or 500 pounds, morbidly obese, and is on their last leg, so to speak, they're going to tell you that walking 100 days in a row is quite an accomplishment, and wow, that's a great testament to willpower. And I suppose it is, right? Working out 100 days in a row is not simple. But if you absolutely love the workout that you do, and if putting one foot in front of the other doesn't even feel like a workout, well, guys, I hate to say it, but you just found your miracle cure. You're not going to be able to run forever. It's just factual. You're not going to be able to lift weights forever. But if there's one thing the human being can literally do forever, it's walking. And the reason that people, as they get older, no longer walk is because a lot of times they didn't build up those leg muscles when they had the chance. So will there come a day in your 70s, 80s, or 90s where your legs will weaken to the point where even walking will become challenging? Yes, but that's going to become a lot more challenging a lot sooner for those that don't practice the art of walking now. And here's the crazy thing. Each and every human being on this planet that's capable of walking is already walking every day. You're walking to your fridge to grab the milk for your cereal. You're walking upstairs to the bathroom so that you can use the restroom, right? And take a shower. You're walking to your front yard so you can check the mailbox. What I'm simply stating is take a watch on your wrist and find out how long and how far you can go after a 10, 20, or 30-minute walk, and just walk every day. I've literally shown you 2 or 3 dieters that have lost 40, 50, 60 pounds over the course of 6 to 12 months, and they didn't do much with their diet at all. They just walked. Guys, I want you to imagine a walking scenario like mine, where occasionally your battery dies and you have to replace your camera battery. Because imagine you walk every day carrying this 30-pound camera like your boy, okay? By the way, my battery just died, so that's why my voice probably changed over here over the last 10, 15 seconds for you. So I want you to imagine this. This is what science does sometimes. Sometimes they take the data to extremes. Let me give you an example. If everybody walked carrying a camera, right, and they had to change their batteries out, after X amount of years, there would be a newfound knowledge. Science, by the way, means knowledge, right? So there would be this newfound knowledge that for everyone that's walking, every person that has to consistently change their battery, slowly but surely, we would find that a percentage of those walkers quit, right? That's what science is. It kind of tabulates the data and it kind of takes a deep dive, and it's a scientist giving their opinion on something, and their opinion is backed up by the data. So it's more of a theory or a fact, right? And then that gets peer reviewed. And a lot of times facts, which are what a group of experts at a given time period believe to be true, a lot of times facts actually can change. Give us an example, Jesse. Well, if you would have went back to the year 400 or 500 AD and you would have asked all the top scientific minds of the time what the world was, they would have told you it was a flat disc, right? And based on your eyesight, in many cases, this giant area we call Earth does appear to be flat. And as a matter of fact, the interesting thing about Earth is if you were to fly over a plane, right, and let's say that plane went from California to New York, not on a plane, but along a plane, right, you would find that the Earth is amazingly flat. Does that mean that the Earth, the world itself, is flat? No, it's a sphere, right? It's shaped like a ball or a sphere. The only times you can see that, and I apologize if you're a flat earther, but the only times you can see the curvature of the Earth is if you actually go high up enough in certain vehicles that are designed to get up there, you know, where you're getting towards space, and you can slowly but surely see the curvature of the Earth. And scientists between the year 500 AD and now have actually found ways to prove that the Earth is a sphere, right? And then we have pictures of the Earth from the moon. And yes, I know there's a lot of, you know, we faked the moon landing people out there, right? But the point I'm trying to make is not whether the Earth is flat or spherical. What I'm trying to say is there was a time where it was a fact that the Earth was flat, but that fact was wrong. So when we look at somebody like Terry Mann and she says, hey, it is a fact that everybody that's losing weight now is going to gain it all back. It is real easy when we're used to facts being 100%, right? It is real easy for people to say, my goodness, I'm glad I watched Terry's speech here. I'm going to give up on my exercise and walking routine because it's futile. It's designed to fail. Guys, I think you just let Terry hypnotize you if that's the case. I think when people tell you things that you can and can't do, it's true if you listen to it, okay? If you were to look at Muggsy Bogues or Spud Webb or any basketball player, if you were to look at them when they were in grade school or high school, the odds of them making the NBA are practically zero. Yet every single day, including yesterday, there's an NBA draft where 60 players around the world are drafted into NBA teams to become our next newest millionaires, right? And those things happen every day. People defy the odds every day. In my opinion, being an odds defier is a choice. But we have to be smart about that choice. What is something that's easy to do that we can become addicted to and enjoy that has a positive aspect on our health? A daily walk. A daily walk. What is something we could do that could help us solve problems? A daily walk. What is something we can do that can help us eliminate that daily Coca-Cola we eat with our dinner? A daily walk, right? And by the way, even if you walked and got rid of all your weight and could drink all the soda and donuts and cakes that you want, you should still quit all those sugary foods, because as we get older, I assume your goal is to keep all of your teeth. Many people start to have tooth and teeth problems as they progress into their 40s, 50s, and 60s. And I've heard a lot of people in their 20s that have lost all their teeth and have dentures. And we have so many people in this country that are hopelessly addicted to drugs that a lot of times they literally sacrifice their teeth in the process of doing whatever their habit is. And so again, even if you end up walking with us, losing a ton of weight, and you start thinking to yourself, well, hell, I'm losing a lot of weight doing a walk with Jesse every day. I can eat donuts and I still lose weight. That might very well be true. But if you're going to sacrifice your teeth, who cares that your body looks good? You've got no teeth. And if you think, oh, well, that's no big deal, I'll just get veneers or I'll get dentures, well, go check out the prices of those veneers and dentures and then get back to me. And if you can afford dentures, I want you to know something. The reason people with dentures smile a lot of time is because their teeth look great. But right when they get off the camera, a good percentage of them take their dentures out and set them on the tabletop. Why? Because dentures aren't your normal teeth and they don't necessarily feel good. And people complain about their dentures all the time. And life is a lot more than just smiling for a camera or smiling for strangers when you're out and about. Some people have to chew their food and eat. And if you think chewing with what is basically a mouth guard in your mouth with teeth attached to it, if you think that sounds fun or easy, go talk to your grandma that has dentures. And you'll find that half the time she dislikes those really pretty dentures. So remember, when you're watching a denture commercial and you see all these people smiling, it's because their dentures look pretty when they smile. But believe me, most of the people I've talked to about their dentures hate their dentures, right? So again, guys, is diet and exercise impossible? No, it's the easiest thing in the world. I defy you. Here's a challenge I have for you. See if you can go the next 90 days without listening to all the doom and gloom that the experts talk about. You know, a lot of times when these doctors tell us how wonderful these injectable medications are and how wonderful these surgeries are, a lot of times if you follow the money, you find out that they're on the payroll of these different companies. Well, if you're on the payroll, that means you're their employee. That means you're supposed to actually parrot their talking points. And you're actually supposed to sell people on the idea that what you're talking about makes the most sense for them. But if you're being sold something, and if you're being talked to by a doctor who's being paid by the very study that he's suggesting is factual, you got to be skeptical of that. If you end up losing 30 or 40 pounds this year by walking and cutting your sugars down, what are you going to do? You're going to tell the world that you came up with some secret plan? There's nothing secretive about this. Take a look at that picture from the early 1900s. Those are thousands of people. Not one of them looks fat or overweight. Don't they know it's their responsibility to go eat McDonald's and every single day and to get fat? Were there fat people in the 1900s? Yeah, there was a handful of them, but you know what they weren't allowed to do back then? They weren't allowed to blame their parents and grandparents. What do you mean? There were no fat people back in the day, so if you were a fat person, you could not blame anybody. It's not till now that the scientists and experts and everybody wants to put the blame on someone else. So check this out. The same time they're telling you that diet and weight loss is impossible, they also tell you, but it's not your fault. And through science and through research and development, we have this wonderful pill. And oh, this pill should be covered by your insurance, but guess what your insurance is doing? They're getting lobbyists to battle and fight tooth and nail so they're not forced to cover these medications. And then, oh, by the way, if you do get on these medications, they're only going to cover you until you lose a certain amount of weight. And if you don't lose any weight, they're going to drop you off the program. And these drugs are designed where once you're on them, you have to be on them for life. God, that sounds like a setup that you and I are walking into. How about you and I walk past that and just keep on walking, and maybe we'll never need to go down that route. I'm happy that that route's available if we ever absolutely need it. But don't believe these people that tell you that you're destined to be overweight forever. I don't believe it. You shouldn't believe it. What you should do is keep walking and have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you tomorrow.